The men's Sweet 16 at Roland Garros is officially set in stone, and we have some big popcorn matches and some unexpected affairs. The most hyped up matchup will be between 13-time champ Rafael Nadal and 9th seed Felix Auger-Aliassime. These two have played just once 3 years ago in the Madrid second round, which the Spaniard took 3-3. Rafa's had a pretty straightforward path to the second week, beating Jordan Thompson 2-2-2, Corentin Moutet 3-1-4 before taking out 26th seed Botic van de Zandschulp 3-2-4. So far the foot looks like it's holding up pretty well, and Nadal's movement doesn't seem to be too compromised at all. He also said that the match against Van de Zandschulp was his best of the tournament thus far, so he could definitely be trending in the right direction. However, while Botic is solid, Felix has greater weapons and skills that could really test Nadal and possibly wear down that foot like his countryman Shapovalov did in Rome. Felix had a much tougher road to the fourth round than Nadal. He first had to come back from 2-0 down against Peruvian qualifier Juan Pablo Varillas. After getting a comfortable love 3-4 win over another qualifier, Camilo Ugo Carabelli, Felix gritted out a solid 3-set victory over Serbian Filip Krajinovic. Now this matchup between Nadal and Auger-Aliassime is particularly interesting because Felix is coached by Toni Nadal, who is Rafa's uncle and former longtime coach. Toni and Felix have been working together since April of last year. If you're wondering how Uncle Toni is going to handle his charge and nephew going at it, it seems like it's family first for the Spanishman. Toni says that he won't be in either player's box during this match and won't be giving Felix any advice on how to be his nephew. While you might be feeling for Felix that his own coach refuses to do his own job and coach, the 21-year-old says that he's totally fine with Toni's stance. I don't know if I need any insight on how Rafa plays, to be honest, Auger-Aliassime said. I think we all know what he does well. I don't think Toni will tell me anything new about how Rafa plays, but we had the discussion. It was black and white from the first time we started working together. We knew it was a possibility that eventually I would play Rafa when I'm working with Toni, and actually now he's present here in this Grand Slam. But I think Toni will watch from a neutral place and enjoy the match. From my part, it's another match, another opportunity to try to play, a good match and win, but of course it's very difficult. I don't know how Toni feels. Maybe we should ask, but he hasn't talked to me about it. But I think you will also have to remember that Rafa's career and what he did with Toni is much bigger than this match tomorrow. Today, Toni did a TV interview where he praised Felix for his politeness and hard work ethic. When asked if he thought Auger-Aliassime was ready to beat Nadal, Toni apparently laughed and said, "I hope not," before saying that Rafa is the favorite despite Felix's improvements made on his serve. A lot of people had an issue with this, and understandably so. Auger-Aliassime is literally paying Toni to win, but Toni doesn't want him to win, so it's a very interesting dynamic. However, you do have to look at it from Toni's perspective. This is Rafa's blood, and you'd always want your relative, especially nephew, to do well regardless of the circumstances. Rafael himself kind of echoed these sentiments on behalf of Toni, telling the press, "I already talked with Toni after my match. For me, it's very simple. He's my uncle. I don't think he would be able to want me to lose, without a doubt, but he's a professional and he's with another player. I don't know what's going to happen, if he's going to stay in the box or not, but I don't care. I have zero problem with that, so it's not a story at all for me. I know the feelings that we have between each other." Going back to the matchup itself, I actually picked Felix to win this one before the tournament started because he played very well in Rome, plus Rafa's foot was a big concern. However, as Toni said, Nadal will be the big favorite playing on his beloved Roland Garros courts, especially best of 5. We'll see though if Felix can use his power and explosiveness to push Nadal and make this a physical affair. Side note, Rafa will be stepping out on court in a pretty good mood as his favorite football team Real Madrid won the Champions League over Liverpool. Nadal was actually in the crowd watching this game live, so we'll see if his late stay watching this game will have any impact on his performance. World number 1 Novak Djokovic also has an interesting 4th round matchup as he next gets Diego Schwartzman. Novak hasn't dropped a set all tournament, getting by Yoshihiro Nishioka, Alex Mokan, and Alias Benede without much trouble. Schwartzman meanwhile defeated Andrei Kuznetsov in 4 sets, before coming back from 2-0 down versus Jaime Munar. Schwartzman seems to have flipped a switch after that Munar match as he absolutely clobbered Grigor Dimitrov 3-1 and 2. Diego always seems to bring his best tennis out for Roland Garros, as he's made the quarterfinals for the past 3 out of 4 years. Novak will still be the pretty big favorite here, as he leads the head-to-head 6-0 over Diego. Schwartzman has managed to make their clay court matches pretty competitive and even pushed him to 5 sets here at Roland Garros back in 2017. Granted, that was when Novak was in his flop era. We'll see if Diego can use his momentum from the Munar win to give us a competitive match. Probably the least sought after men's 4th rounder is between Alexander Zverev and Bernabe Zapata Miralles. Zverev was close to being eliminated in round 2, where he had to come back from 2-0 down and save a match point against Sebastian Baez. Besides that match, Zverev hasn't dropped a set. Bernabe, meanwhile, has been beating all the Americans, taking out Michael Moe in the first round, 13th seed Taylor Fritz in the second, before sending John Isner packing in round 3. This has truly been a fairy tale run for Zapata Miralles, who will make his top 100 debut after this tournament. Zverev will not only be a huge favorite because of the vast ranking and experience gap between the two, but Zapata Miralles has spent far longer on court, as he also had to go through 3 rounds of qualifying just to make the main draw. It would be nice to see Zapata Miralles go one step further here in Paris, but I think this is where the road ends for him. Another Spaniard, 6th seed Carlos Alcaraz, takes on Karen Khachanov, and the 19-year-old will be the pretty big favorite here. Carlos picked up a pretty impressive straight sets win over Sebastian Korda last round, winning 4-4 and 2. I thought Korda could cause Carlos some trouble because the American won their last meeting in Monte Carlo about a month ago. Also, Alcaraz looked to be out of form, as he very nearly fell in the second round versus Albert Ramos Vinolas. I think that Ramos Vinolas match will actually help Carlos for the remainder of the tournament, as it'll take some of the pressure off of him, knowing that he came within 1 point of going home. We can't forget about Khachanov though, who earned a pretty impressive 4-set win over Lyon champ and 10th seed Cam Norrie. I think Carlos has the edge in not only the game department, but the overall comfort and getting used to the conditions one. He's already played on Philippe Chatrier 2 times, while Karen's been playing on the outside courts. Moreover, this is going to be a night session match, which for Alcaraz is the second night match in a row. Quite frankly, Rafa and Felix should have taken that night session slot, but Nadal probably would have preferred to play earlier in the day where the conditions suit him better. Looking at the bottom half results from today, Casper Ruud and Hubert Hurkacz will face off, after the two had very different third round victories. Hubie cruised past David Goffin 7-5, 6-2, 6-1. Meanwhile, Casper Ruud came back from 2-1 down versus Lorenzo Sonego to win in 5. Ruud has had much more notable clay results, while Hurkacz tends to thrive more on hard courts. However, Hurkacz seems to be playing better at the moment, not dropping a set thus far in Paris. Now, another 19-year-old not named Carlos Alcaraz is tearing through the draw right now, and that's Danishman Holger Rune, who clobbered home favorite Hugo Gaston 3-3 and 3. Rune has been very dominant thus far, getting past Denis Shapovalov, Henri Laaksonen, and now Gaston in straights. This match against Gaston was particularly impressive, seeing that he was dealing with a crafty French opponent and a rowdy and Philippe Chatrier crowd. The Dane simply overpowered and outclassed Gaston and put his talent and huge potential on full display. Holger will have a step up in class, next facing 4th seed Stefanos Tsitsipas, who got his easiest win of the tournament, dominating Mikael Ymer 2-2 and 1. Steph is going to be the favorite, but I think Holger has a decent shot at taking this. I don't think that he'll be intimidated by the occasion, as he beat Zverev 3-2 in Munich last month, and then dominated Shapovalov here in France. However, the moment of him playing his first ever major 4th round might get to Rune, as he honestly doesn't have that much experience in playing the top players as an Alcaraz on these big stages. The biggest thing is that Munich title from last month. Holger's also susceptible to cramping in the big moments, like how he did against Djokovic at the US Open last year. He also received treatment on his legs despite dominating Gaston 2-0, so the physical aspect of things will be very important here. However, the game is there, and if the mind and body follow, we very much could have an upset on our hands. Tsitsipas, though, like Alcaraz, will likely continue getting better as the tournament progresses, especially after his first 2 rough matches, where he had to come back from 2-0 down against Musetti and then beat qualifiers Zdenek Kolar in a 4-hour thriller. I'm sure Steph will be ready for the challenges that Rune poses. Moving down, Jannik Sinner and Andrei Rublev will face one another for a spot in the quarters. Rublev earned a 6-4, 3-6, 6-2, 7-6 win over Chilean Christian Garin. Sinner, meanwhile, got a straight sets win over Mackie McDonald, which really shouldn't have been his straights. McDonald was up 5-2 in the second set and held 11 set points. Yes, 11 set points. Sinner somehow staved them all off and was able to claw his way back before taking it in 3. Sinner fans will be happy that the young Italian was able to progress through, but they'll be a bit worried because he seemed to be dealing with some knee struggles during the latter part of the match. Jannik will still be the slight favorite as he leads the clay head-to-head versus Rublev 2-0. Lastly, second seed Daniil Medvedev is through to the second week at Roland Garros for the second year running and next faces Croatian Marin Cilic. Medvedev hasn't yet dropped a set this tournament, most recently earning a dominant 2-4-2 victory over Miomir Kecmanovic. I was really impressed by how well Daniil played this match and actually had Kecmanovic beating him when the draw first came out. The Serbian's been very solid all season, plus Medvedev was a bit of a question mark playing on clay, which is his least successful surface. Also, this was just his second surgery since having a hernia surgery, and he didn't look that strong in his long clay lead-up event, Geneva, where he lost in the first round to Gaston in straights. He's played himself into form nicely here and for sure had his best match thus far, as he served and returned very well, making life very difficult for Kecmanovic on serve. Daniil broke serve 5 times and saved the 2 long break points he faced. Miomir definitely didn't play his best and his forehand was notably off and inconsistent. Some of that is due to the pressure that Medvedev puts on his opponents because he defends so well. Marin Cilic, on the other hand, has also been playing well this tournament, most recently beating Joe Simon 6-love, 6-3, 6-2. Cilic has the game to beat Medvedev and actually held a 2-6-love advantage over the Russian at Wimbledon last year, before Daniil came back and won in 5. Looking ahead to tomorrow's action, Felix and Rafa are third on Chatrier, followed by Alcaraz Khachanov for the night session. Djokovic and Schwartzman are second up on Longland, followed by Zverev and Zapata Miralles. That's it for this video, and let me know in the comments what you think about Nadal versus Auger-Aliassime, and whether you believe Uncle Tony's right for not getting involved and essentially rooting for his nephew. Also, can Rune upset Tsitsipas? Make sure you subscribe too, and click the notification bell so you're notified whenever we post new content. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time here on Grand Slam Tennis News Today.